Okay, so first thing on my agenda today is the spider that was in here. So it took me about 2 weeks to finally get him out, but as you can see there's loads of webs here with dead ants on. It kept trapping ants, killing them. Obviously for me, every time I tried to look for him, couldn't find it, but here it is. Eventually what happened is I did get the spider out, and obviously I just placed it back outside in the garden, but it must have been on some moss or something like that. End of the day, it was killing things, so I just wanted rid of it. It's a very beautiful spider, I must give it that. However, I just wanted rid of it. Obviously we don't want things in there just constantly killing things, webbing them up. I did give this a really good water down. The reason being is every time I wipe the glass, things like that, I give it a good water down, but on this occasion a worm came to the surface and it must have been picked off by the ants. All I saw was them taking it back to the nest, and there's a super cute little snail there. But after I saw it take them to the nest, I just left them be. But as you can see there must be taking quite a few worms to the nests whenever I water it and things like that, which to me is kind of cool. I thought they would do that, but all the gravel, all of the gravel that I added, you can no longer see it. The soil's just now over the top of it, so that was kind of a pointless venture. But hey, I enjoyed it for a week or so. Here you can see a grey tropical woodlice, and I haven't seen these for 6-7 months. I mean, I see them here and there randomly. However, more recently, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've noticed a huge population boom in the isopods, which is absolutely awesome. I've been looking forward to this happening. I didn't think it would, because every single time I saw isopods, they would get attacked. They still do, but they're a lot more vigilant, these ones, I think. The tropical greys in particular. I've only seen a few of those ones, but I added both of these species in. I'm actually going to be adding more woodlice species in now that I've seen that these are okay. As you can see there, the ant generally just got its scent, left it alone. They're not too bothered, but the isopods do stay out of the way of the ants. They'll try and scavenge the food, they'll try and take dead roaches, things like that, here and when they can. And again, you'll see a time lapse later on. I put in some potato, some cockroaches, just food generally, a big pile of protein for everything inside here. And all you can see is isopods constantly trying to steal it, and the dead roach carcasses, things like that. This is actually a dead slug. It's they must have killed it. I don't know how they managed to get a slug this large, but they did. They've built like a huge tunnel way where if there's any live food, they drag it straight there. And again, you'll see that on the time lapse. It's generally where they take all of the food, apart from the left side of the tank where they've got one of the other main nests. But isopods here, I'm actually just really happy with these, because not only are they super cute, but to me, I need more cleanup crew. I need things to be taken out, these carcasses, because now and then I do have to do spot checks, make sure that they're all out. But generally speaking, once you see them get dragged into the tunnels, you don't see them anymore. You might just see the odd shell, but regardless, they'll get eaten by everything in the soil. And it just means less maintenance, more bioactive systems, and yeah, it's just really good to me. I've got some millipedes arriving, bumblebee millipedes arriving for these. I've also got some stick insects and different species of isopods, but this is when I added all of the food. I generally add a few mealworms, bugs, crickets, things like that. I had about 4 or 5 of them at once, because they do eat all of them. And, if they're taking it all, then I may as well give them it. This is the absolute barrage where they all come out of that little tunnel there as well, which is just so cool. Put some more Myrmica liquid in the feeder, and as you can see, they're just going crazy for it here. There was some of the stuffing from the ant lady, the cotton candy, but I mean, they love this just as much. And as you can see, nice big full gasters there as well. So couldn't be happy with these ladies. They're actually coming on really well. Population has boomed. I did turn it onto the red lights. The reason I did that is just because I wanted to show you how much more active they are when the red lights are on. You can't really see as much, obviously, because it's red, but if you look at the ground, it almost looks as if like it's moving. There's just hundreds of ants crawling around on the food there. And then shortly after this, you'll see the time lapse where, they take it straight into that little sort of, it's kind of like a little ditch in the soil and the gravel where they just take everything down into. I just think it's really cool. I like it when it's red as well. It adds some ambiance, we'll say. But yeah. So this is generally where the other side of the nest is, or one of the main entrances. It's just in front of the waterfall feature, or what used to be, or the water section we'll just say now. So on the left side of the tank, where the water just get filled, obviously it's more humid for them, the soil's more damp because they actually throw soil into the water section to get it built up, so more water seeps into the soil sections. But that's where they run from, on the left side to the right. Now there's a cockroach carcass in there. I feed them, you're talking about 5 bugs one day, and then I'll feed like a cockroach, 4 days later, but they just take all of it, they eat everything. I mean, I'm happy with that because to me, I just know they're eating well, they're eating a lot of protein. I always leave that sugar sauce in there. I've since started adding potatoes, and I'll explain a little bit later what else I've been adding in here. I didn't realise they would show aggression to each other here, but they do. They're fighting over the protein, as you can see, they're fighting each other away from it, and they're really going at each other. It's almost like a duel, but yeah, as you can see, this is why I add more protein. Isopods are fighting over the protein. I think now the reason they're probably growing so much is because I've been adding a lot more protein during these summer months. They've been a lot hungrier, the ants, and that might have been a reason. There's a big population boom in isopods, but I'm not too sure. Regardless, these in particular, as you can see, they're just generally mooching around. They share the same feed as they share, proteins, once it's dead and done. But you can see there more aggression to each other, so I don't know why they do that. It might just be a thing that they do. I didn't think such a peaceful, creature like this would actually start fighting each other over the food. But obviously one of them's, they must be hungry, so I've been adding a lot more stuff in. Later on you'll see I started potato in as well, because I just wanted to make sure they had a good source of everything, and I will be adding more cucumber, things like that, or different fruits and veg for them all to feast on. I just have to make sure it's pesticide free. But like I said, this is the left side. There's isopods all over where the main nest is as well. Going from left to right, you can see that's where the main chunk of the workers come from. A lot of them use the underground tunnel. There's an above ground section where they all generally trail, but if you look there you can see them all coming from like one tunnel, and that's generally where they all come from, as well as the top. So it's just like a train of them going towards wherever there's food or sugar, anything like that. They're just obsessed with sugar. Here's your time lapse. Now this was over 6 hours. I don't know if you realise how quick one of those mealworms got dragged into the little ditch tunnel I was talking about. Some get dragged to the left side of the main nest, but most of these get dragged into that middle tunnel. Not only that, you can see the soil shifts around so much. On the right side you've got like all of those isopods which keep moving around the roaches' bodies, eating them, things like that, and then all of a sudden one disappears, so it must have took it somewhere else. Here you can see mini engagement, so it nips it a little bit, warns it off, and then it just walks away and does its own thing. But yeah, I'm just super happy with all this. There's a tiny little baby one as well. As you can see, it's like a soil grain, so it is super duper small. And this one's just chewing on was chewing on a roach leg, and then typically started walking away when I tried to show it. Just some more feeding. This was actually only over the course of about 1 hour, but you can see all of them going crazy. I added the potato in here as well, so here we go. And you'll see the isopods, once it's almost as if one sniffed it and then tells the rest, and they all start going to the potato. But I'm going to make sure, like I say, I'm putting more veg, more fruit in, and things like that. They can have a big variety of food on. Loads of isopod poop left on the potato while they're eating. They're like pooping it straight out or something, but they're loving it. As you can see, there's like big delves in there. One of them sort of sat in like a bed of potato on the right side. But I'm glad I added this, or I'm going to start adding more potato, things like that for them. You know, I just think it's really beneficial. The world's tiniest little baby worm was also mooching around here when I watered it down again. It didn't get attacked, which amazed me, to be honest, but to me, again, that's good. I know that the worms are reproducing, isopods are reproducing. I know the springtails are anyway. Obviously, I've got soil mites and other mites in the soil, which will be eating some of the springtails off, but the springtails population is already huge anyway. And I actually wanted to just show a little montage of the lights, how they change during the course of the day when it goes from, you know, early morning to night time. I didn't show full sun because that's generally what I'll film on. And then this is obviously nighttime mode. You've got the, it's kind of like dusk mode here because it's got like the day and night settings. But yeah, I just think it looks really cool at night time. If I do want to look at them without disturbing them and turn the lights back on, I will just put them on the red lights. But either way, they're normally just on blue at night. Now here's one of my mourning geckos. This is Mushy. Absolutely love him. He's awesome, and I added him into the ant tank as well. So there's the surprise. I've now got a little mourning gecko in, so I do have to put in the rapacious foods, things like that. Now when I added him in, straight away blew his mind because I've been keeping him in like a smaller exoterra, and obviously this tank is huge, so it's got loads of space for him to walk around, crawl around. I've got like a nice little heat lamp now in the corner left. And generally you'll see him basking on the tops of the sliding glass surfaces. And there you go. You've got the cockroach eating from the inside. They're all crawling in and out of its body, eating its innards, which is obviously gross. But as you can see there, they take a lot of protein. I've got a few other inhabitants that are going to be going in this tank soon, so I just need to stay vigilant with how much I'm feeding them, making sure I'm keeping on top. I keep the rapacious food on one of the Swiss cheese plants at the top, so you can go up there and grab it, because obviously the texture of that food's different. I think the ants would probably drown in that, so I don't want to keep them there. Again, the isopods, they push the luck all the time, constantly going near that entrance hole of the nest. Just having a look around, because generally that's where they'll keep some of the food carcasses as well. But they get a plenty of food, and like I said, I'll be adding a few more in the future alongside some bumblebee millipedes and some other inhabitants, and I'm really looking forward to getting those in. And remember, if you liked the video, smash the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see updates on my tanks. But as always from me guys, peace and love, I'm out.